Half-Bloods, we're back again, Scott and William, and this is one of our shorter episodes, but still action-packed, and we are continuing to go through plot holes, William, and
supposed plot holes.
Last week, I think we found a real plot hole. We talked about Fidelius Charm and why wasn't James his own secret keeper. We haven't actually posted a lot of those social media interactions yet, so haven't got a lot of feedback, William, but next week I believe I'll be able to say where some hot takes that might have come in on that.
I can't wait. Hopefully there's more haters. That's what I like.
Exactly. And today I think this is also worth talking about, not one of our weaker ones, and this one is about time turners. I will read what the Instagram post says. Hermione is given a time turner in her third year solely to attend more classes. It's a significant plot hole that such a powerful magical object, capable of changing history, I want to question that, was used for something so trivial instead of fighting Voldemort or saving lives. So, basically, the introduction of time travel, was it done correctly? Was it pushed to the side correctly? I think we can cover all that today. William, I just need to start with the facts. Fact number 1, Cursed Child doesn't exist in this whole conversation. Can we just establish that? Cursed Child does not exist. Can't think about it. The logic that they introduced there does not exist. So, because that does not exist, I just need to get us in the right frame of mind for what time travel looks like with these magical time turners and what the limitations are. William, I want to establish these facts first. First fact is that it is a closed loop time circle, which means there are not multiple timelines. Harry and Hermione are the ones that go back in time, and the only time that we actually see time travel. And they are not living some alternate reality. They are not changing anything from a timeline that they already lived, because if Harry did not go back and get rid of all those Dementors, Harry would therefore have his soul sucked out, and he would not be able to go in time, creating a paradox that we cannot break. And so I guess I just want to establish that Harry didn't go back and change him getting his soul sucked out. His soul was never sucked out, and there is only one timeline, and you cannot go back and change something that has already happened, such as, oh, we just found out James and Lily are dead, or a Death Eater comes out and says, oh no, Voldemort has been blasted to smithereens. Where is he? The Potter boy's still alive. Let's use a time turner and reverse that. You cannot change what has already happened. It is a closed loop time thing that cannot change, right? You cannot find someone dead and then go back in time and change that. Is that a true statement?
I think the logic is sound for how they present it in the book.
Yes.
I will say, like, off the bat, like, just in general, like, if you're going to do time travel, therefore it is a plot hole. Get over it. Like, time travel is a complete, like, it's a complete sandbox of, like, anything and everything goes. Like yes, I agree with you. Like, it is a closed loop. The way they show it is a closed loop. But, like, as everyone knows, yeah, you can poke hole in, like, literally every implementation of time travel throughout all of fiction. Like, oh, great. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
it is what it is. Like, so, like, is time travel a plot hole? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. But, like, it's a plot device that's used across thousands of stories. And get over it. Enjoy it. Terminator still rules, you know? Anyway.
Well said. First of all, well said. You agree. So you agree. It's closed loop. The second thing I want to say is that you can only go back 5 hours with these time turners. That is the limitation that they have set on them, whether that's implicit in the book or J.K. Rowling provided afterwards. Croker's Law, whatever. He's like, you can only go back 5 hours. These time turners that we know exist, again, Cursed Child does not exist in this conversation. Yep. You can only go back 5 hours. So that's what we're talking about here. You can't go back and kill Voldemort when he was a baby. You can't do any of that. And even if you had a time turner that could do that, the way, again, Cursed Child doesn't exist. I don't know why they just erased rules, because it's not canon. That's why. That basically, if you went back 70 years to when Voldemort was alive, you would have to then age 70 years to get back. It would kill you.
It's a one-way trip.
Yeah. It doesn't work.
Fast forward.
I don't know how we like missed this essay, William, when we did all the essays and we read them all, but there's a time turner essay where someone was like stuck in time for 5 days, like 300 years in the past, and then they somehow got him back. But her body had aged 300 years and she died, moments later and erased most of her posterity and did horrible things to time, just truly blew it up.
Yeah.
And it's a fascinating essay. I don't know how we missed it, but
Well,
again, you
first
can't
of
go
all,
back
I
and
want to
kill
say
people.
this, like, I like the idea that, like, wizards are, like, powerful enough to mess with stuff like time. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's magic. Like, they're powerful, they're studying, they're learning these things. So, I do think that, like, as far as the implementation goes, they did make it pretty clear. Look, they only go back a few hours. It's a closed loop thing. It's all the same thing. Like, Harry it kinda breaks his brain, right? He's talking about it, but
And it does break your brain. Again, Harry went back in
and it's
time and
supposed
saved
to. That's
himself.
what
Yes.
yeah. That's what time travel does, right? It breaks your brain, right? Um,
Yes.
so it is what it is. But like the thing about the plot hole is like, why didn't they use it to like fight Voldemort or Death Eaters or blah blah blah? I mean, like it, it's kind of like asking like, why don't we just nuke X place? You know, like mutually assured destruction. Like it's something
Exactly.
worse is waiting for you. If you
Which
use
which
this, you would screw up things so much worse.
which I feel like Marvel explores with Kang the Conqueror, and they go the opposite route where it's no, everybody gets time travel powers and everybody tries to go back. Basically, everybody tries to use time travel to destroy each other, and then Kang destroys them all and takes away the ability to time travel or create, multiple universes, and that's the only way
Right.
to save everyone. So they kind of went the opposite way. What you're saying is that wizards have basically universally said time travel isn't worth it because then we'll both start using it and we'll eventually destroy ourselves. Which again, Marvel explores that. Basically, they do destroy themselves, is what
Right.
we find, and
Well,
I
and the other thing about it is like as far as if you're going to point out a plot hole, the real plot hole would be like, why are they trusting a 13-year-old with this technology?
yes,
That
and right,
is, a
undebatable.
leap. you
Yeah.
know, trusting a
And
13-year-old, even if she's obviously using it for, uh, you know, good reasons, I guess. But
and that's the
you
only
know,
thing wizards use it for is trivial things because to me, as I've thought about this, and again, my job I feel like on these plot holes is basically to justify you're the one who's like, yeah, it's a plot hole, but I'm just here to say no, it's not, and really convince myself that it all makes sense, or here's how I
mhm,
can make it make sense. And for this one, it's like this isn't. It is time travel. It is time travel, but it's really not time travel. It's really like a duplicator. It's really like creating two of you for a period of time. But time travel as we think about it, it's not really time travel because you're not changing anything that hasn't already happened in your circular reference of time. And
that's true.
it's
Actually,
really just,
I'm in for this. This could be
yeah.
like a whole. There's a whole Rick and Morty kind of thing about this, but they're like creating like different realities, but they're not. They are. This is a closed loop. They're not
There's
branching
no
off into new
realities.
realities, duplicating it, and
Hermione is
doing
just able
things.
to be in two places at once, but she's not changing time. Harry is able to be two places at once, but again, he does not change time. There's only one
Hmm.
thing that happened, but Harry gets to having his soul sucked out from a Dementor and saving himself from Dementor. But it all happened at one time, at the same time. It was just Harry was in two places at
I'm
once.
I'm on board with you. I don't think it's like I don't think the way that they implement it takes away from the story at all. I think it was handled pretty carefully and it was set up fine. Like, and like it all makes sense. It was a cool way to use it. It worked. They moved on. But like in general, like I said, like, yeah, time travel is a plot hole,
It is.
quote, because it's time travel. Like there's a reason like a lot of people like my wife who like obviously has seen like Infinity War and Endgame and
Right.
stuff. She just rolls her eyes when she sees time travel. And I don't blame her. Like, you know what I
Same
mean?
with same with
Like
Cassie.
I don't
She
blame
won't
it.
pretend to try to wrap her head around. She's like, "Oh, there was time travel. I'm not going to pretend to understand it. I don't want to have this debate with you. I don't want to have this conversation with you. I don't care.
Right.
There was time
Right.
travel."
And I will say that the way that she implements it in Harry Potter is very focused. It's tight. It's specialized and they drop it and move on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It-
So I don't think it like takes away. It doesn't be like, why weren't they using this the whole time? Like, well, if you think about it for 2 seconds, like, it kinda makes sense why they wouldn't use this constantly.
And I think there's a couple other things that have to be true. Um, One is that the magic is so complex that no one is able to recreate this outside of the Department of Mysteries. Again, Cursed Child doesn't exist. Like, no one has cracked this code, and you need to
Mhm.
spend a lifetime studying it, and you need resources that, you don't have, and no one is able to recreate this. Or if they are, it's it's I don't know, they're not impacting life.
Right.
And the second thing is that time turners are under a they're the ministry is actually able to protect them. Again, you've made the right point. Where like, well, they gave it to a 13-year-old girl, and all bets are off after that. She could get it stolen from her. She could abuse it. Someone else could take it and study it,
Mhm.
and you kind of lose all support there. But I again, like, if a Death Eater, wanted to get their hands on a time turner, that they actually wouldn't be able to. And I feel like I have pluses and minuses here where like Voldemort tried for 10 months basically with all of his considerable brain effort and all of his resources to try to steal one prophecy from the Department of Mysteries, and he could not do it, which to me gives me support that if somebody really wanted a time turner, that there are defenses set up that are appropriate. Again, we kind of see the time turners out in the open, and
Mhm.
doesn't seem like you could, if you can get to the department, you can steal one. But I don't know that. I like to think if you
Yeah,
reach
you
for it
don't
on an
know
oath,
that. Yeah.
yeah, you get sucked
Because
into
if
a time loop.
you could make it into the Hall of Prophecy, couldn't steal
Right,
something unless it was
right.
yours, right?
I like to think there's
Um,
real defenses on it.
yeah,
And
you
again,
know,
it is important to say that in the fifth book, J.K. Rowling gets rid of time turners by putting them in a continuous time loop where they are continuing to break and unbreak, we assume, for the rest of time. And there are no
right.
more time turners
And
able to
also,
be
like,
used.
when people think about, like, what is a plot hole or not a plot hole, like, they always focus, like, on such narrow this they look in and they just look at this little part, right? They're looking, like, right at this one little thing, except if they zoom out and look at the whole book or the whole narrative, the whole story, all 7 of them, like, things like you said about, like, well, why wouldn't they got in there, they could just steal it. Well, says who? Why?
Right,
Do
right,
they have to tell you like, "Hey, by the way, there's a bunch of protective enchantments on the time turner, so if you try to remove one, you couldn't," right?
right,
They have to tell
right.
you that, or can you, like, read the books and, like, say, like, "Hey, like, there's protective enchantments on the Hall of Prophecy, there's protective enchantments on tons of stuff," like, who's to say, you know?
Right. And exactly. And so again, I think both of those things have to be true. One, they are under lock and key. And I believe that because again, you can't get a
Mhm.
prophecy. You tried for 10 months. And also that no one can recreate it. It is too difficult.
Yeah.
And again, I just need to state that, like, let's say we've got a bunch of time turners at the Battle of Hogwarts. Again, you cannot say
You
Lupin
couldn't go back
died.
and save Fred.
Lupin dies at, yeah, Fred dies here. Okay, we
Fred
just got
wouldn't
to
have
move
died
Fred
if
10
if you'd
spaces
already
back.
done that. Fred wouldn't have died.
Exactly. There is no
It's
I
done.
can go back and fix this. Basically, you can create two of yourselves at the same time. But again, if you do that, you're going to go insane because you're not going to know who is what, and you're going to think someone's under polyjuice. And I started to think about like Voldy, like would Voldemort be interested in this at all? And I feel like the answer is no. One, he fears the dead. He wouldn't want to go back and see anyone who's dead. But again, that's not how time travel works. And two is that if Voldy sees himself, I think he's going to Avada Kedavra very fast. He's thinking,
Yeah.
impersonator, I don't know who you are. I know who I am, and I'm going to kill you. And I don't think Voldemort
Quick
can
trigger
handle time
finger.
travel. Yes.
No.
Uh, Again, you'd be duplicating yourself. If you had a bunch of time turners at the Battle of Hogwarts, there'd just be multiple of whoever has a time turner, but you can't go
Mhm.
back and change things. So
And
I don't know.
if you duplicate yourself and die, you're dead. Your other
Also true.
version,
That's a
you know.
good point. I
Like I
guess.
said,
Yeah.
I'm on board with I think she talked about it too. J.K. Rowling has a quote where she talked about it. Like, look, time
Yes.
travel is a loaded thing. You kind of got to go with it one way. You got to do it like this, where it's like it was tight, it was small, they did it, they moved on, or you're like all in on it, like Doctor Who, where like anything goes, you know,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's
Well,
fine.
yes.
Lean into it, have fun. Who cares, right? But even with Doctor Who, people will say like there is people like you who are way smarter and more dedicated to it will be like explain why everything does make sense. And it all works. But he
I
just calls
think
it timey-wimey. The doctor says like just timey-wimey stuff, you know?
that's how you yada yada your way through any time explanation.
Timey-wimey. I think it was
To
as far
me,
as time travel goes, I thought it was a pretty good implementation.
it's
It
incredible, especially
was
as
a
a
great way to
13-year-old
do it.
kid.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like I said,
everything
the
gets
biggest plot
explained.
hole is like, why would they ever give it to a 13-year-old? Good
Yes.
question. That's really dumb.
So
But guess what? If they didn't, the book wouldn't have that cool thing happen, so they did it.
to me, yes, my official vote is why weren't time turners used for more important things? I do not think that is a plot hole. I believe that
No, I don't think
its
so either.
its uses are very limited. I do think it is an incredibly questionable decision by the ministry to allow a time turner to a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah. That I'm on board with.
Yes,
I'm on board with.
it's too risky. Did like Percy and Barty Crouch Jr. also get time turners, or did the schedule change at Hogwarts and and it was
Now
forced
that's a plot hole.
to
Now
have
that's a
time
plot
turners?
hole. Or is it because the man who's completely babbling out of his mind saying about how many OWLs his son got
Right,
may not be a reliable narrator?
right. And maybe Percy just tried harder and I don't know, didn't ask for a time turner and just put in the work. Unlike Hermione, who had to save the world every other year. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know. Do you think that the HBO show should address this in any way? Do we need to have some time turner
Yes, I think they need
conversations?
to. I think they do need to like say like, hey, we can only go back 5 hours and say something
Yeah.
like duplicating ourselves. Like it's a closed loop. Like they should have a couple
Yes.
lines about that when they do it
I agree.
for sure.
And they should really finalize, fifth season, those time turners getting stuck in a time
Like
loop.
remember how like they do it in Avengers where like they would go back in time and kill baby Thanos.
First
and
of all,
Hulk-
that's horrible.
yeah. There should be some kind of small exposition of like what does this
Yes.
time turner do? And it would take it would take a minute to explain it.
Yes.
Hermione would be
But to
like,
me-
well, look, you can only go back 5 hours and it's what you're really doing is duplicating or something like that. It'd be very
Yes,
easy
yes,
to
yes.
address. And you absolutely should and have to address it.
Agreed. Agreed. So this is really our second one that we feel they should definitely address this and the Fidelius charm. And from there, William, next week's plot hole, we will run through Harry's invisibility cloak being an infallible Deathly Hallow. Why can Moody's eye see it? Which we have talked about, but I think we could let's have a 7-minute pod on this next week.
Deal.
Maybe I'll think of some other things. William, I had a blast. I think this was my favorite plot hole yet. I feel great about it.
The duplicate thing was well said.
We nailed it. Maybe I'll bring this to Barry, who I will be on the Retold podcast. I don't know when he'll post it, but I'll be on the Retold podcast this week talking about Harry Potter theory, which I'm not the right person for. I feel like you need to be like reading fan fiction to be into Harry Potter theory or follow the Super Carlin brothers or whatever. Not what I'm really into, but I've got couple theories. Maybe I'll bring up this time turner theory as well. And
I think you should. And I'll
I
give
think
it a
so
listen.
too. Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Give us a listen. I feel like other podcasts are like, drop a follow and like us and blah, blah, blah. We don't really do that because we don't care. And
Please come online and hate us.
Yeah, you can listen to us ad free anywhere because no one will pay to be a part of our podcast. We can't even afford Ultimate Harry Potter trivia right now. We've been kicked off of Amazon. We're still trying to figure that out. So, no ads this week. Basically, they keep thinking that they keep sending us things like, you need to show us that you're allowed to sell this game. And I was like, I created this game. I'm the only person who can sell it. And they're like, no, you're not registered to sell it. And I'm like, but you can't talk to a real human because, there's 10 billion businesses on Amazon. So we have to keep going through a bot and we keep getting unapproved and it's super annoying, but we'll get back on Amazon. We can do this. I believe. So keep buying the game. You can still buy it on ultimateharrypottertrivia.com. So do that.